Now, the police in Uganda's Jinja District are holding 13 people said to be supporters of former presidential candidate Robert Kyagulanyi, alias Bobi Wine, on allegations of holding an unlawful assembly in the eastern Ugandan city. According to police spokesperson for Kyara region, Mr. James Mobb, the suspects in detention and others still at large mainly come from Iganga, Kampala, and Busia districts and other parts of the country.
All right, the police have also said that 3 vehicles were impounded after being used for transportation of Bobi Wine supporters to the venue. Joining us this morning to further discuss this is Waiswa Alex Mufumbiro. He's the deputy spokesperson for Uganda's leading opposition political party, the National Unity Platform. Good morning and thank you very much for joining us.
Good morning, comrades. It is very, very absurd back here in Uganda.
All right.
That we still continue to witness those heinous crimes against in the surface of trying to keep the negativity of the
Okay. So let's get into the conversation this morning and talk about what exactly went down. Now, this is not the first time that we've heard of Bobi Wine or his supporters being apprehended in some form. In 2020, part of the reason that was given was that they were trying to restrict public gatherings because of COVID-19 to reduce the spread of COVID-19. And now we're also hearing reports this time that the permit that was gotten was for a wedding and not for a political gathering. So can you please give us clarity as to what exactly happened?
Of course, in the disguise of the wrong laws that govern this nation, working on the suffix of making sure that the dictatorship still exists. There is what they call the public order management law, where you're supposed to seek and inform the police of any gathering. But this was a political meeting of a registered political entity, the National Unity Platform, because as you may remember, first we started as a movement, but later, as a result of having political space, we registered a political vehicle in the name of the National Unity Platform, which is a fully fledged political party having membership across the country, all the divide. Now, in the eastern part of Uganda, that is where His Excellency Robert Kyagulanyi Sentamu scored very highly in the recent concluded mafia-held election of General Kaguta Museveni. But despite the intimidation, the harassment, and twice he nearly survived death in Jinja, where this happened. He was shot at the bridge, the famous Ambakot, a road to the Chimaka barracks, and then also in Luuka, where I am born. You all remember on the 18th, that's where he was arrested, leading to the 18th, 19th November massacres in Uganda. So what is happening in Busoga and in eastern part of Uganda by the oligarchy is to continue the harassment and intimidation of the common people, the oppressed Ugandans who have decided to align themselves to the message of hope, to the generational effect of our leader, His Excellency Kyagulanyi, therefore in resolute to isolate all the mobilization and the capacity building processes of our political party and his aim and the generational aim of having a new Uganda, acts of arrest, abduction, suffocation in gatherings, like you saw what happened to our people. These include women. Women were battered by men, policemen. Some of them are thrown in jail cells. Women are thrown in men jail cells because here the greatest risk as a Ugandan you can take is to mobilize against the status quo of General Kaguta Museveni. But we are grateful to the people of Busoga, the Eastern people, for standing firm and formidable in their resolute to see that Uganda changes and the change starts from home. We are standing with the people. Many have been arrested, others are in hospital. And of course, the state, just in this very time, the son of the president, General Muhoozi, who is a serving army officer, is holding political rallies in the far east of Uganda. A serving military officer at the rank of a general is doing politics in a country where the army uniform commands them that they're not supposed to participate. But he doesn't mind. He recently tried to create a disharmony between Uganda and Kenya. He continues to throw around all those wrong words. So our African brothers should realize that our country is one that is desirous of focus. We thank you that you give us that opportunity, because we are fighting as a generation, and we can assure you we shall fight to the latter.
I want to talk about those who have been arrested. Do they have proper legal representation? Will they be set free at some point? What are the steps that your group is taking to ensure that they regain freedom? And then, second, in the build-up to, tell us, what Bobi Wine's plans are in the build-up to the next general elections, because it doesn't seem like the harassment will stop at any point. Is there any plans, going forward on how to maybe continue to mobilize until the elections?
As a political party, of course, a political party is hinged on elections, and we have formidable organs within the party and other parties that are assisting us in growing capacity of understanding how we can maneuver particular elections in Uganda. That is a very, very important question, because even in the essence of elections, I know in Nigeria you may have issues, but here in Uganda they are not elections. You remember that the other time our candidate, despite having won that election, he was subjected to arrest during campaigns. He was campaigning in a bulletproof vest. He was campaigning in a bulletproof element to keep him alive. As oppressed Ugandans, we have been forced to buy him an armored vehicle. So even if he's going for elections, on several occasions, even during these by-elections, results like in Kayunga, that I'll visit Africans to look at online, the Kayunga by-election of Harriet Nakwete, it was total massacre, military operation. So here it is not elections, it is the military operations that are guised in the constitutional framework of elections. And as a party, as an institution, as a generation, we are no longer so much worried at mobilizing elections. Our leader is a star, is a former artist. His capabilities in mobilization and word outreach is simply impeccable. The challenge we have is the military election, the gun rule, the anarchy, the impunity that will take women into jail cells of men, rape them, murder citizenry in cold blood, like you saw on the 18th and the 19th. So for us as a generation now, we are building more capacity and thinking why outside the box on how to overcome gun rule.
Alex, thank you very much for your time this morning. We certainly will be following up with what's happening in Uganda. We do hope that the democratic process, as it should be, is what is restored to Uganda. Thank you for your time with us this morning.
We thank you very much for putting light on Uganda. Thank you.